Yeah.
Your Lordship, this is my very first case. I'm not into judicial activism. Kindly forgive my breach of protocol if unintentionally committed. My Lord, I suppose that I have to make a case now for the admission of the LPA. Is that right, my Lord? I crave your indulgence for 100.
What are the facts of your case?
Yes, sir.
Don't be in a hurry. You may argue at ease. Don't be under pressure, mister.
Thank you. My Lord, I have prepared a 150-second, that's 2.5 minute narrative. Can I read it out, my Lord?
Yes.
That will sum up the entire case, just 150 seconds. There was a unique panchayat
Now,
inhabited by
who is the petitioners?
SPRAT, or Society for Promoting Rationality.
Rationality.
As we couldn't afford a lawyer, I, as its president, am appearing as party in person. At 70, I wouldn't have undergone this ordeal, my Lord, but because it's a question of existence of this NGO, existentialist crisis. So I stand here in the name of all the donors, interns, and volunteers. We have got a decree from the learned single judge and a special cost of 25,000
What was the reason for filing the petition? What was the reason for filing the writ petition? How? What is the
imperative was that no relief was granted while the judge, honorable judge.
That understood. Why did you file petition?
LPA.
Petition, original petition.
Original petition. Okay. My Lord, we were running, we set up entirely at our cost of a couple of crore rupees, a massive science appreciation park.
At which place?
At the so-called junction of Juhapura and Vejalpur. We are into the business of demolishing borders, and that was where we set up on the land allotted. If can I be permitted to sip a glass?
Yes, sir, sure.
Thank you. My apologies and my gratitude. AUDA needed a park there. It was an earmarked green land. We were in the area of promoting rational thinking and communal harmony. Under the leadership of Dr. I.G. Patel and Dr. Y.K. Alag, we set it up entirely at our cost and ran it for 17 long years, my Lord, on a minor technicality, which is completely redundant, and I'll be able to submit when the opportunity is granted to me. Suddenly, 13 long years later, they detected some irregularity in the allotment letter and asked us to vacate. We made
The land was allotted by whom?
Earlier by AUDA, and then the land was transferred to the jurisdiction of
Corporation.
Corporation. And Corporation 2 cooperated.
Where is that allotment letter?
Yes, my Lord.
Where is that page number?
Paper book. I was actually letter of allotment. Page number. Page number 65A and 66A, my Lord. I was under the mistaken impression that the hearings take place after 2:30. So I'm a little disorganized, but I'm completely ready. I'll submit one by one.
If you
Can
want to come at 2:30, we can take
No,
up
my
at
lord,
2:30.
if you have the time, it is an honor.
We are one by one. We are taking up the matter. If
Beg your
it is
pardon?
not convenient at present, you can come at 2:30. You will take up.
No,
at
my lord,
2:30.
I'm ready. If you have your
Okay.
lordships of the time, I will go ahead. I'll
Take-
take a couple of minutes to find my bearings.
No problem. 54.
Uh,
Which is the page allotment letter?
65A
65. Yeah.
and 66A.
Visual food spread near the. So,
Briefly, my lord, this was the understanding with the then chairman of the order that it had to be long-term by the very nature of the park, because it was not just a park. It was going to be a multi-purpose science appreciation park for promoting socio-cultural activities. So we had to invest a lot of money in due course. And in order for the benefits to accrue, it would necessarily take a long time. One would not agree to build this park for 1 year. The irony, my lord, is that the park's possession was given to us after the expiry of that 1 year, and it was inaugurated by His Excellency the Governor 2 years after the date of allotment. So it was completely infructuous. In any case, by a series of actions of the corporation, including the mobilization of grant of an MPLAD of Mr. Advani of that area, MP of that area, and the grants of the councillors of the AMC itself, 4 years after the so-called expiry, they have been doing all of this. We were running the park with the cooperation for 13 long years. Nobody faulted this particular technicality. The
now,
letter,
what is the allegation? What technicalities means? What
that
is
the term of allotment was 1 year. Only just these 5 words, my lord, that the term of allotment was 1 year, whereas the possession itself was given after 1 year. Inauguration happened 2 years after that. Auditorium was built 4 years after that. Grant was given 5 years after that. So we do not understand how could they go back to that 1 year thing, in which case the possession itself was illegal. All the grants channelized by the corporation through the office of the collector must also be rendered illegal, and action has to be initiated against those who were responsible for MP grant.
Now, who has issued notice?
Beg your pardon?
Any notice was issued for vacating this place or not? You vacate this place, any notice was issued to you?
My lord, the notice of eviction was given.
Where is that notice?
There are many.
Last notice.
The last notice was February 2020. In the meanwhile, they were also proposing PPP regularization. So one department issued a notice of eviction, another department was proposing PPP, which was also readily accepted. No notice cites any provision of law, and it simply asks vacate the park within 3 days, which was impossible. So we got frustrated. 20 years down the line, we realized that the park cannot be run because they are not cooperating. There's no point. So we requested them to permit us to remove the entire asset bolt by bolt and vacate. We submitted a timeline of 3 months, 3 months precisely. Instead, they simply came and sealed the park. The park remained sealed for 16 long months, while they did not grant us just 3 months to vacate. Unambiguous categorical commitment was submitted to them with a deadline that on 31st March 2020, we would hand over the vacant position under duress. We agreed under duress, my lord, because all our investment was going away. Nevertheless, we agreed. On the other hand, the commissioner, the then commissioner, Mr. Vijay Nehra, asked us, no, don't vacate, you're doing such a wonderful work. We would also like you to expand your work on the riverfront. So simultaneous parallel instructions were being given. The park remained sealed for 16 long months. We represented unilaterally thrice, begging them to unseal the park so that we may vacate. My lord, every word of what I'm saying will be substantiated by the appropriate notice when the time is given. Suddenly on 4th June 21, bulldozers came in and demolished the park without the farthing of a notice, oral, email, anything. 17 months back, they had asked us the eviction notice. We made a representation, give us 3 months time. 3 days is not possible. 3 days is arbitrary. We cannot. In fact, my lord, they took 3 weeks to demolish it with bulldozers. They took, all of that is documented. So our submission is that there have been multiple failures of law, denial of equality, denial of freedom, negation of the legal rights of property.
Now, what is your prayer in the petition? What was your prayer? What was your prayer in the petition?
In the SCA, the first prayer is holding corporation, the various acts of the corporation, violative of the constitution and ultra virus. Second, grant of interim relief of transfer of our goods, restoration of status quo ante, my lord, because this is an earmarked green land, my lord. We were running precisely what they would want to run. They want to run a park. We have been running the park. And in all of 17 years, my lord, neither in writing nor orally have they ever raised any objection whatsoever. This was a social service, my lord.
We are issuing notice. Issue notice.
Thank you so much.
Service number 21st April. Direct service.
Need I serve them another copy, my lord? I have already sent emails.
No, you have to serve this order along with the memo of LPA and petition, everything.
Thank you.
Are you going to serve directly?
Yes, my
Okay,
lord.
direct service permit.
I have brought a copy. In fact, if the learned
They will not
responded,
accept here.
I can
Corporation
submit
would
it
not
to the
accept.
registry, my lord.
No, you have to serve this notice.
To direct. I'll check the
You
procedure.
inquire in the registry.
Yes,
The registry will guide you how to
yes,
solve
my
them.
lord. Thank you.
Next. What is the possibility? Yes, Mr. Patel.
Serial number